Welcome to the BSBLR Show, guys. Time to yap some ball. 30 minutes baseball bliss coming at you. Spring training is back. Pat Murphy is back. Tony Clark is not. We're going to yap today with some ball here, guys. How we doing today, Bryce?
I'm doing pretty good. You know, Tony Clark's out there, you know, he's living like some movie plots I've seen before in my life. I mean, good for him, bad for him, I don't know. But great to be here, DR. I'm ready to talk ball. Let's roll.
Good for him, bad for him. All sorts of good and bad. What mixed emotions Tony Clark is going through right now. Baseballer blitz, guys. Home run if you like it. Strikeout if you don't. Bryce, I'm asking you, Cubs fan here, will the Cubs win the NL Central?
So I know you're a Cubs fan, DR. So I'm gonna make you happy here. I'm gonna say home run. Yes, this is their division to lose. I mean, 92 wins last year, I believe, second place. You know, I think the Brewers are gonna be good. They just got Pat Murphy back, but I think they're gonna take a step back. I think that Milwaukee Magic it's kind of starting to run its course, in my opinion. And the Blue Jays just have a lot of guys. I mean, Blue Jays, excuse me. The Chicago Cubs have a lot of guys, though, for real. I look at it and I go, that's a solid ball player. Like Ian Happ, Dansby Swanson. I wonder what Michael Busch could do with extended looks against lefties. You know, he looked good. So, I mean, DR, I believe in this Cubs team. I do.
And I would swipe right, too. Obviously, a little biased, but I think more so the Cubs have improved. I think the Bregman one is big, but what I look at more so is like the Brewers are just going to have to regress just a little bit. I don't think that they're going to be like under 500 or a 500 team. I still think they're going to win like 84, 85 games. I feel like that's a good mark for those guys. They're a good club, but at some point, like they're a team full of glue guys and they got rid of Isaac Collins and Caleb Durbin and then traded away their best pitcher. Like, if they can fight through this and win 95 plus games again, like you just got to tip your cap to the organization and be like, they just don't lose. I don't know what it is. They have become the Tampa Bay Rays, right? They just like find a way. But I just think there's got to be some regression here. The Cubs, I think at the very least, should be that same caliber team that they were last year with 92 plus wins. So if that's the case, it's going to be hard to take them out of that NL Central race.
Yeah, and so we look at a team that we think is going to regress in the Milwaukee Brewers, and now we move on to the Atlanta Braves, DR. So I got to ask you, do the Atlanta Braves bounce back this season, home run or strikeout?
I say home run. I mean, last year was so weird. I just when it was happening the entire year, if you remember me talking about it, I was talking like, hey, this is fake. They're going to have a bounce back in the second half. They're probably going to be a playoff team. And it just never happened. It just never happened.
Mm-hmm.
And so this year, full season, we got to see how it goes. They have not been lucky so far. We've seen injuries already in this offseason, Waldrop getting hurt. I mean, there's lots of things happening, but if you still look at the rotation, the projected lineup, you got to like it. I mean, 76 games last year that they won. You got to imagine they're at least 500. I want to see what FanDuel has them at. They have them at 88.5.
Wow.
I mean, that's you go from 78 to 88.5. Like you can tell that no one really believes in what last year was. When you look at that lineup, it's really good. I do think health plays into this though. You have Sale, Strider. Just there alone, Reynaldo Lopez is their 3 right now. There's a lot of like, okay, does that stay healthy?
Yeah, I mean, the talent is there, but can the talent stay on the field? I mean, I feel so bad for all these young Braves pitchers like Swellenbach. You know, you mentioned Waldrop.
Forgot about that. Yeah,
it reminds me of like, you know, Mike Soroka and Ian Anderson of the days past. Mike Fulton-Davis. None of them they just could not stay healthy, and so it seems like this is just bad luck with Braves pitching. But this is an exciting team for me. Ozzie Albies, he bounced back in the second half compared to that first half. I think he's going to be okay. Acuna, you know, I'm hoping a full healthy season. Let's see what that looks like. Michael Harris, I mean, he's solid out there. I think he's gonna hit. He's gonna improve a bit with the bat compared to last year too. I like this team a lot. Drake Baldwin. I mean, we could go on forever just naming guys on their roster that are exciting. I like this Braves team a lot.
No, that lineup is sexy, man. I really think when you look top to bottom can be really good. Interesting. Michael Harris, he was like horrible in the first half and was like amazing. The best improvement on his OPS of anyone in the major leagues in the second half. So the guy can play outfield. So you look at that starting lineup and you're like, yep, that is an 88.5 winning team. You look at the rotation, you think the same thing, but health. Let's see how that all plays out. Who knows? So speaking of, we talked a little Brewers. We're going to talk on them a little bit more today. Pat Murphy, he's back for 3 more years. Is that a good move?
Yeah, this is a home run. This is a good move. You need a strong captain to helm your ship, I feel like. And I think Pat Murphy's that guy. The media loves him, the players seem to love him. Everybody loves Pat Murphy right now. And like this Brewers team, we're not sure what it's going to quite look like. They traded Durbin like you said, their best pitcher's gone. Does Harrison step up and kind of fill in that role? They've got some exciting guys, coming in from these trades, but they need, a guy who knows what he's doing in charge. And I think Pat Murphy's that guy. Some of these managers feel more iconic and memorable than others. He feels like a memorable manager in my mind. You think of like Joe Girardi with the Yankees, like he just feels memorable. He feels like one of these guys, and I feel like he belongs in Milwaukee. I love this for them.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting too. Obviously, you got to swipe right here. I mean, what he's been able to accomplish. Manager of the year, having a team that going into the year last year, you're like, hey, 500 ish should be the expectations, and winning 97 games. You got to give credit where credit's due. This guy's keeping those guys loose. It's a 162 game season. I'm typically a guy to say I don't think managers have as much impact compared to some other sports. So, like, for example, how a head coach in the NFL, importance wise, I think that's way more important than a manager of a baseball team because drawing plays, etc. As a baseball player, it's like, okay, do you think the coach is writing up X's and O's like, hey, this is how you're going to hit the slider next at bat? That's not how that's working for Pat Murphy, right? But it's 162 games. What a manager can do is keep us here. Oh, we lost 3 games in a row. Don't get way too high. Oh, we lost or we won 4 games. Don't get too high. We lost 4 games in a row. Don't get too low. That's kind of their job. And over a 162, keeping everyone happy, very important. Obviously, Pat must be doing a good job. The culture there looks great, looks amazing, and it has been for years. And that's where I'm really curious on everything here because Pat Murphy, before Pat, you had Craig Counsell, right? So looked at like the best manager in baseball after his Milwaukee time, got the highest paid manager salary of all time. And we're still seeing how it's working with the Cubs. Still pretty solid, but like there's still question marks out there. Is this a product of Milwaukee or is this a product of just did they just have 2 really good managers? That's really kind of the question.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it seems like Milwaukee is doing a good job at finding the right guy. I wonder, maybe in the future we could see somebody like Ricky Weeks, a former player, step into that role as well. Just they're good at picking the right guy. And so we're going to move on now to a team that I'm kind of excited about, DR. I got to ask you, Athletics, their win total right now, 75.5 games, home run or strikeout. Are they going to be better than that? What do you think?
I think this feels like an easy over. But the more I look at it, maybe it's not. But I'm still saying over because first I'm like, look at this young core they got. Because if you look at their lineup, you got to love it. You have Nick Paz Kurtz, you have Shea Langoliers, Tyler Soderstrom, Brett Rucker, Jeff McNeil, Jacob Wilson, Lawrence Butler right there. And then you have Max Muncy, Denzel Clark, maybe a little soft hitting at the back end. But 1 through 7? Like, that's a good squad. Like, in your lineup offensively, I love that. You have a Kurtz-esque player. You have Langoliers, 30 home runs guy. Brent Rucker, 30 home runs guy. Jacob Wilson could be a 330 hitter for years to come. You got to love a lot of what's going on in there. And I'm still missing names, Soderstrom and et cetera. Like Lawrence Butler, good player. Like, you have a lot of above league average to good hitters in that lineup. We move on to the rotation. A different story. Your ace is Luis Severino. Your 2 had a 4.54 FIP last year. Your 3 was being DFA'd in the middle of the year and picked up and moved here, go there, couldn't get any postseason innings. I mean, like it's not a good rotation, to be very, very blunt. Not a good rotation. So it's like, what's more important? Having a great lineup's awesome, but if you're giving up 7 runs, yuck. And you got to remember, you're missing Mason Miller. The bullpen right now, you have 3 people slotted as closers: Hogan Harris, Justin Sterner, and Mark Leiter Jr. I know one of those names. So and that's maybe bad ball knowledge over here, but that's I need to learn more about my A's, but I don't know, man.
Yeah, and so I'm really excited about this team. It's so hard to pick a lane here. I'm gonna say over. I believe this is a 500 ball club, but I don't know who's throwing these innings. I mean, it's 9 innings for 162 games. I don't know who they're gonna pencil in to throw all these innings. I mean, and when they do pencil in these guys, how productive are they gonna be? I mean, there are number one, Luis Severino. I mean, what does he even look like this year? I know he had a bit of some complaints about the ballpark too. But this lineup is so exciting. Like, I just look at this lineup and I fall in love with it. I can talk myself into it all day. But I mean, I think we're gonna have to. I say we like I'm on the team. The Athletics are gonna have to win games like 7-5. It feels like, or like 10-7. Like this, I feel like that's where they're gonna have to live. I love the lineup. Don't like the pitching, but I'm gonna give this team 81 wins. I think they do it.
I think they definitely could. It's just how they progress in the lineup, because, and I'm looking at the prospects that they have right now. Their fourth overall prospect is Braden Nett. Looks like he's going to be in the major leagues this year. Who knows at what role? 23 years old, could be something. But you got to hope, especially with the A's being the A's, they're not going to go out there and net the guy in free agency. So you got to homegrown this thing, and that's got to be their best option, is trying to get guys from the minor league rankings and farm system to produce for them to get there, because the ballpark they play at is tough to keep the ball in the ballpark in the first place, and then the rotation they're running out there is not helping as well. I mean, last year alone in relief pitching. So starting pitching, 27th in ERA, 25th in WHIP, 18th in walks per nine, 24th in Ks per nine, 25th in hits per nine, 29th in home runs per nine. So not really improving on that. Relief pitching, the same kind of deal. And that's with Mason Miller for half a year, 24th in ERA, 24th in WHIP, 29th in walks per nine, 9th in Ks per nine, probably Mason Miller effect. 18th hits per nine, 19th or 17th in home runs per nine. So you're looking at a very not good staff as it is. All around. So let's see which one shows up. Tons of promise in the lineup, not a ton of promise in everything else. Because even defensively, we look at this team, top to bottom, you're looking at, outside of Denzel Clark, who looks like Superman out there, you got a whole lot of league average or below. So we'll see how that shapes out.
Yeah, it's just so many question marks to look at. It's kind of like the Braves, just different types of questions we have. With the Athletics team, and I do feel like trading Mason Miller, I think they did really well with that haul, but you don't see the fruits of your labor for a few years when it comes to prospects. So it wasn't like a win now move, and it does hurt them in the short term, but like I said, I do think it was a smart move to make. So a lot of question marks for this season, but I just want to say, closing here, the future's bright in my opinion.
Yeah. No, I think you don't have to look at it as like a win now. It's not a win now team. Obviously, we're saying how much they're going to win now, but that's not the look of this team. This is a team, you see how they've locked up their core, the Jacob Wilsons, the Soderstroms. Like, they have everyone's locked up basically till 2030. It's 2026, people. So you got to imagine they're starting a gun for their, I'm assuming the next thing they're going to be looking at is pitching, because right now it feels like that lineup for years looks like that is who you're going to have out there. Yep. How it continues to produce, who knows? You gotta like it though. So it'll be a fun watch. Again, might be like one of those White Sox situations where it's like, hey, they suck, but they're fun.
Yep.
Like that could be one of those situations. Speaking of something that sucks but's fun, Tony Clark. Tony Clark finding the headlines. Maybe not in the way that he wants to. I think you said you've watched a film or two that might have had the same type of plot line, but Tony Clark getting into it with his sister-in-law in the ways that maybe he wants to get into it with. But when he's out of being the representative for the Players Association. What's your take here, Bryce?
I mean, what is this sister-in-law, like 07 Megan Fox or something? I don't. How stupid can you be, Tony Clark? I mean, come on. Jokes aside, I mean, the timing of this also just felt really. It kind of made me stressed out as a baseball fan too. I mean, we've got the labor disputes, possible lockout looming, and it felt like we needed him to kind of be our strong guy, to lead us through it. And then all of a sudden, I hear he's gotten tangled up with his sister-in-law, and he's stepping down. Like what? Like the timing of it just felt so weird. And I mean, Tony Clark, I mean, a grown man with a high-profile job like this, I mean, it's irresponsible. It's dumb. I mean, come on, dude. Like,
what is this? Sorry.
I look at this, I'm like, are we serious? Like, I guess, bro. Like, come on, Tony Clark.
It's just like there was a private investigator in on this, so like, I wonder like what everything led to, because he hired his sister-in-law as like, hey, no, she works for the union. She's a union worker, and boy, is she working overtime. She's making them overtime hours. Working late again?
I mean, I guess but like this just goes so deep. Like, I mean, Tony Clark probably has a family too. That's ruined now. He ruins the job. I mean, like, there's so many different, like, we can joke about it all day long. There's so many different serious angles that this does impact,
Yeah.
though, and the implications of it could be felt in baseball and in his personal life forever. I mean, it's just very strange and very unexpected when I saw the notification on my phone. It was just, I just didn't even know what to think. I was just like, what? Like, really? That just happened? It was, I mean, just an odd situation.
But it could turn out as a benefit for the Players Association altogether, because like Tony Clark, obviously a good voice for the players, because he was one. He was a great one. We're going to be talking about him later. But we're going into a CBA agreement year. And I feel like, especially now, it opened up the door to bring in a guy like Bruce Meyer. Bruce Meyer, he was unanimously elected as executive director for the Players Association after this happened. And he's got lawyer background. So you're talking about a guy that's okay. This is probably the guy you want to lead the charge, that it sounds like. So obviously not ideal circumstances, but this could be the best thing in the long run for the players getting what they want, which I think let's just bridge right into that. I know we were talking before the show a little bit. Brent Rooker made some very interesting comments. I don't know if you saw him, but basically like, hey, what do you think about the salary cap? Do you think the salary cap's going to happen? He's like, no shot. It is not happening. So if that gives you a touch of like what might happen in this lockout, that's a strong indicator.
Yeah, I mean, I'm nervous about the 2027 season, but I'm kind of excited for the drama in a way, if that makes sense. Like, I want to see these players go at these owners and stand up for themselves. Like Brent Rooker going public like that felt awesome to me. I was like, hell yeah! Like that's just what it made me feel like. Because I mean, you know, I feel like most baseball fans are probably pro player before they'd ever be pro owner, and so it's going to be exciting to watch. And I do hope, you know, we turn this unusual circumstance with Tony Clark into a positive, like you said, and we got the actual right guy in the job, and he's going to help get things done and help, you know, just keep a baseball season going. Essentially, is what we need. And so I really hope he's the right guy for the job.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting too, because the owners have like basically a savings account of $2 billion for basically they're saying like, hey, when we go to a lockout, we're going to be fine. We're going to be able to like hold our teams over for the smaller markets who might need, you know, their profit and their margins are not where they want them to be. So, which is kind of scary, but this is what they do every CBA is they create that, but also gets you thinking, it's like, how long is this going to be?
Yeah, I just hope we don't miss any baseball.
Yeah.
Like it feels absurd to think like we might miss some of an MLB season. I know it's happened before. I think the World Series was even canceled in the 90s. I want to say 94. It was 94, 95. Yeah. Like, I mean, that just feels unfathomable to me as somebody who wasn't alive back then. Like, I just hope we never get to a level like that.
Yeah, exactly. And the interesting one with that was it was in the middle of the season when they did it. I'm not sure how it all played out. I probably shouldn't know that, but it's in the so this will be different because you got to imagine at least there'll be some shape of a season. If I had a guess, I think it'll be similar to the last kind of disagreement we had. I can't remember. It wasn't a lockout. It was a holdout or something like that. They had different words for it. Basically the same shit. We missed time, but we didn't miss games. I'm not sure if it'll be the similar situation, but we'll see how it all shakes out. I just can't miss baseball, Bryce. I can't.
I know.
I just can't. I can't do that. The drama will be sick. I know I've been talking to other people, but it's like, what do we talk about when that happens? We'll find fun shit to talk about. Speaking of fun shit to talk about, we got the ABS. We got the ABS coming into play. We saw first spring training games. Right now, we're recording right now Saturday morning. Friday, first day of spring training that we've been able to see the ABS. So what we saw, and here are the results. There was 23 total challenges. 13 were overturned. So 13 correct challenges that were good guesses. So what does this mean for baseball? What is this? Because I think we're going to start to see the strategy of how we use these challenges. And for example, we have Yankees on one hand, who were out of challenges by the fifth inning. And we have other teams that didn't use either of their challenge. I think we're going to start to see that play out.
Yeah, so what we're gonna have, I think, is teams who are too afraid to use it because they're gonna think like, what if the eighth and ninth inning we have bases loaded, 2 outs, and they punch us out on something close, and then we're gonna see teams like the Yankees who are like, I've got them, I'm gonna use them, and it didn't really work out for Austin Wells. I believe he was 0-2 before the fifth inning or whatever, like you said, but that is a different strategy that I think could work too. Is like if you've got them, man, use them. Like it's ridiculous to not use them. We heard I believe Chris Sale said he wasn't going to use them. He refuses to. Like Chris Sale, that's stupid. Like I know wanting to be a baseball traditionalist and a purist, and I get it. Like I get upset when the game gets messed with, But if they're going to give this to you as a competitive advantage, it's ridiculous to not use it to help your team. And so I think teams need to make sure they're using them every single game. I think it's dumb not to. But the question is, when are they going to decide to do it? Are they going to hold it to the last inning, or are we going to see them use it in the first half of the game?
See, and that's where it's going to be totally situational. But I think it's kind of smart, at least at this point of spring training, to be like, yo, let them fly. Let them fly. We'll get data. We'll get data on, hey, is this stupid? Is this guy bad at it? Is this like, you'll learn a lot. I think that's the best play here is like, let's not figure this out March 26th, opening day. Let's figure this out right now where it's like, yo, just let them fly. Let them fly. If you disagree and you feel strongly about it, tap that helmet and we'll see. Because I mean, obviously going over 2 and having them out by the 5th inning was not the play. But you're going to figure out, you'll just have more data. Like, and that's what they kind of came with. Because Aaron Boone said like, hey, our numbers guys told us that most teams in AAA, remember this was being used in AAA last year, that most teams have these go unused. So we can save for the perfect situation. But is that going to help us win more baseball games? Or when I got rung up on a 2-2 pitch, maybe that's the spot. Or even if it's like, oh, this would have been 3-1, now it's 2-2. That's the spot. So again, it's just very interesting. Like as a strategic side of things, I think this opens up a whole different can of worms.
One thing interested to me, and I'm not sure it's going to be used enough because 2 chances a game. I wonder if teams are going to start evaluating a catcher's ability to challenge a pitch or a pitcher even. That sounds so interesting to me. Like, are we going to get like ABS percentage on the back of baseball cards or baseball reference someday? Like, with a bold, like all-time leader in ABS percentage. Like,
true.
I wonder what it's going to do to the stats world, which might be a nerdy way to think about it. And it might not be enough to really matter, but I wonder if teams, after we get a lot of data, could evaluate catchers based on their ABS percentages.
Yeah.
It seems fun.
Yeah, it could be the ASS. It could be the automatic strike system percentage. So their
automatic strike success.
Automatic strike success. Yeah, they could be their ASS plus. How much ASS plus are you providing to the
My
team?
catcher's better because his ass plus rate is through the roof.
Dude, yeah. Miguel Amaya's leading the league in ass plus.
Amazing baseball conversations in the future to be had with this.
Awesome. All right, we're moving on. We're moving on, guys. We have what it looks like a new Hall of Pretty Gooder. Maybe not. Tell us a little bit about it, Bryce.
So recently we had Angels legend Meister Torres up for a vote. It didn't go well. Like, no disrespect to him. 23% of like 21,000 votes. He just wasn't popping. Meister, it seemed like people actually remember his brother Cesar Torres more fondly, former All-Star with the Dodgers, I believe. But the Torres brothers, they are what they are. They were solid big leaguers who stuck around and had decent length careers. They just weren't ever elite. Meister was great on that 09 Angels team, which was a great team, by the way, too. 2009 Angels, so close to beating those Yankees. Yankees were just a monster that year. But I had a lot of fondness for Meister. I think it's fun to remember these guys even when they don't give in. Just give them their moment. Let people be like, oh, I remember. Because at the end of the day, 22,000 people thought about Meister Torres on a random Wednesday night. That's pretty cool to me.
That's a great point. Just like who was thinking about Meister Torres on a random Wednesday night? But like us. Yeah, no, it's just beautiful. That's a beautiful part about baseball. And just kind of what I'm noticing about these recent votes. Last week we had Eric Sogard was the name we talked, and then this week we're talking Meister Torres. Where's the love for the defensive, versatile second baseman type players? I just don't think there's love. Do people just like power? Is that it? What do you guys need?
We've got a lot of guys who love, B WAR and OPS plus. And so that, these guys are around 10 and below B WAR and an OPS plus under 100. So, like, I get it. Especially, we have to remember, too, there's a lot of people even younger than us who didn't watch them play. And so it's hard just
Totally.
looking at a stat sheet. So I do get
Totally.
it. I
Yeah.
get it,
No, I completely get it. I mean, that's just me giving a little bit of credit to these second basemen. They hold the
deserve
fort down. Nick Puno deserved better. That's a hill I'm willing to die on.
Darwin Barney didn't get in either. This poor second
Cubs
baseman /
legend.
utility infielders.
That's
Rough.
a multi-year Gold Glover
Yeah.
gang. Dude, he couldn't hit his body weight. He couldn't hit his body weight.
He could pick it though. Him and Starlin Castro up the middle.
What an infield we're talking right there. Let's move it on. We're gonna go on to Tinder swipes. We have some Hall of potential pretty good players for you guys. You're gonna swipe right if you take them. Swipe left if you wouldn't.
Okay,
I'm gonna start you off. Sorry, I'm gonna start you off. My fault. We gotta bring in a legend here. We gotta bring in the legend. The Johnny Sins of the community. The Tony Clark. Are we swiping right? Are we swiping left? What do we got?
All right. So what Tony Clark did was bad, but this man was pretty good at baseball. I don't know what else I can say. This dude could play. All right. Let me read you some numbers here. All right. The WAR isn't great, 12.3, but who cares, man? 824 OPS, a 112 OPS plus, 251 career homers, 824 RBI. I mean, this guy could hit. It looked like, we looked at his numbers. We broke it down a little bit beforehand. Health was probably an issue for him. It wasn't a lengthy career, but that prime, man, those few years, like Tony the Tiger was getting down. I mean, he's probably getting down on more than just the baseball field, knowing him, but I don't know.
He could stick it all right.
I don't know if he's going to be in MLB The Show anymore, but he had that going for him too. Switch hitter, So, but I like Tony Clark. I think he's a Hall of pretty good. I like him as a player.
I mean, Hall of pretty good beard too. If I had to say so myself.
All right, and so now I'm going to ask you one. I know you're a Cubs fan, so don't hit me for bringing him up. But Carlos Marmol, what do you think? What do you think? Is he a Hall of pretty gooder?
It's interesting, but I'm gonna say it's weird with those closers and middle relief guys and late relief guys. But I'm gonna say yeah. Look at the prime that he had. I feel like so many Cub fans out there, they just have this thought. If you ask Cubs fans and you say the name Carlos Marmol, the chances are you're gonna hear that dude was shit. That dude sucked. Dude, and like maybe I was conditioned to think that as a young child, but like, dude, looking at this, like, I don't know why. We're talking in 2007, he had a 143. 2008, 268, 2009, 341, 2010, 255. We're talking, and in 2010, guys, in 77 innings pitch, he had 138 strikeouts. That's a 16 K per nine over 77 innings. Like, that is a dude. That is a dude. I was playing stat pad, and they were like, most strikeouts between these teams in this. I picked Aroldis Chapman. No. Carlos Marmol had the most Ks from the 2000 till now from a reliever in the NL Central. I'm like, what are we talking about? This guy was really freaking good. His last year, though, he had a bad year, had a 5.86, probably blew a lot of games in 2013, and people are just like, that guy sucked.
Yeah, it's crazy because so as a non-Cubs fan from the outside looking in, when I first started, talking baseball online and stuff, I would bring him up and be like, yeah, man, he had a pretty nice run there before it fell apart. And they would be like, no, Carlos Marmol sucks. Like, I hate him. I was like, what? I had no idea there was this perception of him, in these baseball circles and especially Cubs fans. And like, it's a big difference from somebody like you who watches the team every day and me who just kind of looks at the baseball reference stat sheet. Because, I mean, we can't watch all 30 teams play every night. So I was a kid too. So I'm just looking at the stat sheet. I'm like, he had a couple impressive seasons there. I like him. It was so interesting to see the hate he gets kind of online, from people who don't remember him too fondly.
Yeah, that's how I kind of think closers are in people's minds. Like, they're the kicker of the MLB. You're not going to remember how good he was consistently. You're going to remember that moment. That moment on a Saturday night, you're having a good time watching the Cubs. They're up 2 and he blows the game and they lose. And you're gonna be like, I hate this guy for the rest of my life. That's like, and trust me, I've been there. I have been there. But like, that's kind of how like relievers and closers go. I remember it was the same thing for Pedro Strop, where everyone hated him because they're like, oh, put his hat on straight. Like, he has his head sideways. Was like the whole thing. And like, dude, he had like 7 consecutive sub-3 seasons. And it was he was widely hated. Widely hated as a for most Cubs fans. And I was even when it was going on, I was standing on a mountain like, hey guys, y'all are all wrong. Like, I know you don't like how he wears his hat and he's blown a game here and there because he's human, but like the dude has been productive for so long. And that's just kind of how I feel with some of these guys.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big Pedro Strop supporter. Always have, always will be. He makes music now too, DR. You should check him out.
Hey,
I don't know if you're aware.
The Strop Show? What is it?
He's a recording artist now.
What genre? Is it?
It feels
a rapper?
I could be way off. It feels Bad Bunny-esque.
Bad Bunny-esque. Okay.
Yeah,
I wasn't sure like where we were going. Is
similar to that vein of like, Spanish pop rap type stuff, I would say.
I will listen. I don't know for how long. Over under 15 and a half seconds is and I do love the Bad Bunny. I do love the Bad Bunny, but I don't know. Strop might not have that type of action. We'll see. I got one more for you, dude. We have Hall of Pretty Gooder, Jeff McNeil.
This is another guy who seems to get a ton of hate online, and I just don't necessarily get it. Jeff McNeil's a stud. He's a future Hall of Pretty Gooder without a doubt. Career stats real quick right here. 23 B-WAR, almost 1,000 hits right now. A 779 OPS and a 117 career OPS plus. That's pretty good. I mean, I don't know. Like, open the book, shut it. Like, Jeff McNeil's a Hall of Pretty Gooder.
Yeah, I mean, and you're talking defensive versatility too, and I mean, a batting title alone has to put you in like the top tier of what. Because again, if we're just talking what his career is at this point right now, you gotta imagine he's fondly remembered by Mets fans. I know there might be some mixed opinions there, but I would just assume if I asked a hardcore Mets fan, like, hey, what do you think about the career Jeff McNeil's had? They would say pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, that's a perfect way to describe him, in my opinion. He's pretty good. Yeah.
It is the definition of what you represent and the people represent. But hey, guys, we have given you 32 minutes. It'll probably end up about 35 seconds of baseball bliss. I hope y'all have a terrific weekend. Guys, baseball's back. I know it's kind of shitty when your favorite player gets pulled in the 3rd inning after 1 at bat. I know that kind of sucks. No one likes it, but we're close. We're almost there. It's just a hair away. We're about a month away, Bryce. It's happening, man. Baseball's back.
So close.
We're here. But thank you guys for tuning in to the BSBLR Show. Make sure you follow us here on Spotify. If you're on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. A lot of cool stuff coming your way. Make sure you tune in. We will talk to you soon. Peace.